Viewers apparently tell me since just this morning that now their cats and dogs apparently run to the camera every time they hear my voice. No joke. And so, like, Lily, as I'm speaking now, it's that bacon commercial. Bacon, bacon. Like it's like, oh my God, that's a guy talking again. Let's go watch. I don't know what this is. One viewer referred to me as a mixture of both the dog whisperer and the stimulus whisperer. Another viewer said, I'm popular among both Republicans and Democrats. I really appreciate that. One constituency I'm not very popular among are pot users who eat a lot of lobster. Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here, you are here, and apparently your cat and dog is with us as well. Thank you for tuning in for Evenings LALATE. Now the most watched stimulus channel among your pets. As if this channel can get any more exciting, we have some more bills for you. And I mean bills in terms of stimulus, not in terms of some dog food. So let me get to the incredible details. Thank you for joining me every night on Evenings LA starting 6:30 Pacific Standard Time with the check. And then coming up after this, a special, more about that in a second. If you have not subscribed to this channel, today might be a good day. The Purple Power as a community has reached 250,000 subscribers. It's a testament of people helping each other, putting one another first, and really focus on caring and motivation and spirits. So go to the front of the channel, hit the subscribe button, and drop your comments below, and I may feature them in tomorrow's recording. I'll be answering some of your, I think it was like 3,000 comments last night from this video. I'll be answering them shortly. And also like this video. It helps the video appear higher in the algorithm, higher in the rankings based upon the algorithm. We're doing about 15,000 likes today per video, so that's incredible. Let me get to the incredible news tonight about your second stimulus check. And boy, it is literally a very densely packed, exciting day with a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff going out there, so I'm going to slow it down because it may be overwhelming to grasp. First, there's three, not one, but three bills coming very quickly from moderates who are unpleased with Nancy Pelosi. They're working around her. They're not going to deal with her to get you stimulus checks and enhance unemployment benefits extended. Now, one of the three bills I'm most excited about, I'll get to each of them in a second, but one of the bills I'm most excited about is a bipartisan bill from a group that went to meet with her and she refused to meet with her. They didn't bring her any pot bills. More about that bill in a second. There's first those three things that are so excited to hear about. The next thing that's very excited to hear about is this incredible movement, and I want you to keep on sending me story links because I love them, of this scandal. And a world exclusive broke this Saturday on LALATE, and we continue to unfold the details by the hour. States are holding ransom hundreds of millions of dollars of a $150 billion COVID-19 fund designated to them in March and April and not giving the relief. The good news about this is that some of them are now doing use it or lose it. They're sending out money to their residents right away because the money's about to expire. That's incredible, great news. Finally, movement on executive order by President Donald Trump. That will be the last issue. I told you there's a lot going on tonight. So let me get to the incredible details. First, moderates are sick and tired of Nancy Pelosi. There's no other way to say it. They're done with her. They really are done. So if you have a comment of like, why don't we go? She said she doesn't. I don't want to hear what she says because these are people who literally have nothing, don't want to have anything to do with her anymore. I told you it was getting contentious over a couple of weeks ago. Remember before the postal bill, where there was a letter from the new Dog Democrats and there was a letter from the new Democrat coalition that was written to Pelosi, said, how dare you do a standalone bill for postal? How about you do a standalone bill for checks and FPUC? Her response was, remember on a Saturday morning, she actually appeared before press, and she not only trashed them, but she threw them aside and mischaracterized them. She said, "Oh, we're on book. We're all part of the caucus, and we're doing fine. We don't need to hear about that." Well, that group was irate. And now that group is coming back full storm around her back and is ready to do not one, not two, but three. I sound like The Price is Right. Three behind curtain number one. Three stimulus check bills. This is absolutely categorically incredible. The first one is by the New Dogs. The New Dogs bill is being drafted and is going to be introduced in September, says a new report from Bloomberg. The Blue Dog Democrats is a smaller group. This is a partisan group. Of course, that's why they call it the Democrats. Democrats, not Democats, but if you're watching Cats, you can join the group as well. Blue Dog Democrats. That sounds interesting. It sounds like a Disney film. But they are tired and they want it done, so they're drafting the bill. The next one is being done by the new Democrat coalition, and they are set to introduce that bill as well. The third one, boy, that one is coming from the people solvers. Every time I say it, I can't say it with a straight face. The problem solvers, coming to daytime television every day is, we're going to talk about your relationship and, why did you cheat on him? The problem solvers is the one that I'm really actually most excited about, that and the return of Steve Harvey. The problem solvers are moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans. Yes, they're bipartisan. Oh boy, they are not playing games. And the value of the bill is what I'm so excited about. $1.5 trillion. I guess earlier today I may have said billion. I'm sorry about the confusion, but I assume you understood I meant trillion. And this is the group that I detail on this channel. They went to talk more than at least once with Mark Meadows about what he wanted and what they could do from a Republican standpoint. They went to Nancy Pelosi and she refused to talk to them, whatever their name is. I mean, that shows sort of how she is the problem. There's no solving the problem. Just, give her some lobster, maybe calm her down. And so this is the three bills that I'm so excited about. What would be in the three bills? Well, let me go over this. We do know the last one, the problem solvers bills, by the value of the bill at $1.5 trillion is the one to be most excited about, because that's the one that clearly has the most items of stimulus coverage on this channel in one bill. It's clearly not just stimulus checks at $1.5 trillion. We already know the price tag for stimulus checks is about 280 something $billion is how much it costs for stimulus checks. We know that another round of FPUC or LWA for a few weeks is about 300 something, I think, $billion. We don't know how much it costs for rent aid. We don't know how much it costs for food. We don't know how much it costs for hazard pay. I think that's a very big ticket item. But if you put all those things together, you're clearly still not at a $1.5 trillion. It doesn't cost that much money. So that's an incredible good price tag. There's three reasons why I'm so excited about their bill particularly. One, it's bipartisan, Two, both House and Senate is behind this bill, representatives of both this House and Senate. Three, this is a price that the president will agree to. I'm going to tell you right now, he absolutely will agree to, as it has been widely reported on this channel, as CBS interviewed. As CBS said on Friday during an interview with Kudlow, $1.5 trillion is the quietly commented price that the president will agree to. He's at 1.3, but everyone has been reporting, including myself, including Major Garrett on Friday for CBS, that 1.5 is that quiet number the president has agreed to for months. The question, and really the reason why 1.5 is a great number is because it's clearly not the $915 billion state and local bailout that Nancy Pelosi wants. That's why it's a cheaper number than 2.2. That's why it has contracted. This is big news because Nancy Pelosi, and I'm going to pre-warn you, I think you already know this, I think we're all sophisticated enough under the purple power, but I'm going to pre-warn you that Nancy Pelosi is going to tell you that her caucus is aligned, that everyone's in agreement, that everyone braids each other's hair. Absolutely not. Her caucus is falling apart. The problem solvers are working on the bill to introduce in the next couple days. The separate apart, the Blue Dog Coalition is ready to introduce their bill in September. There is concern within the caucus that we acted on this 4 months ago, and the currency on that is fading, meaning the cachet, the suggestion, or the optics that we are so helpful to you is fading because we haven't done anything for you since May, said Representative Gerald Connolly of Virginia, who has backed the $2.2 trillion bill from Pelosi and Schumer. We can't just go home and talk about something we passed in May. Steny Hoyer had that phone call on Thursday. And he was not the only one on the phone. If only I was like a listening in, I would have just loved it. I would have ordered pizza and popcorn. All these Democrats got on the phone, just gave her a voice, gave Adolf her ear, and just said, "Listen, you can't keep on doing this, Nancy. You are absolutely killing the party. You are putting our political futures in jeopardy." She doesn't care. She absolutely doesn't care. She's not up for re-election. She's about to retire. So there are these people who, first of all, some of them are not up for re-election. They really do care about you. But then there's others that are up for re-election. They're worried they're going to lose their butts. They simply think they're going to lose their butts. And that's where we sit tonight. Now, the next part of this unraveling saga is this world exclusive. And this is where you really got to focus in on me with this one, because this one's a little bit so shocking and so overwhelming. It takes a second to digest it all. So let's go through this very slowly. What's going on is basically a lot of money being held in the state that is your money that isn't being given to you. And in some cases, you could see this money in the form of stimulus, rent, food, and unemployment assistance coming to you right away. That's the takeaway of what I'm going to tell you. The other takeaway of what I'm about to tell you before I get to the details is that the president could potentially grab this money, recapture it, and use it for stimulus as the last thing I'm about to get to, executive orders. Let's go over what's going on. $150 trillion have been dedicated. Oh boy, a trillion, billion, gazillion. This is, I'll just use that number. 150 something has been dedicated. It's been a long day. Has been dedicated to state and local under the COVID-19 fund of the first stimulus package. That $150 trillion was dedicated across all these respective states. Now, what the states then did was they took the money and had to designate it to cities and counties. So in some cases they did. In some cases they, it's still in the state hands. This is absolutely insane. There are three scenarios that have happened. The first one is the one that has generally happened. The money's not gone nowhere. It's sitting in the bank account. No one's using it. The reason why that's so horrible is because no one is getting relief. You're sitting here waiting for your stimulus checks, and we're blaming Congress. Well, states have money to send you stimulus, and they're not sending it to you. Except if you're in, the Northwest, where they've actually sent out stimulus checks to people who make less than $40-something thousand per year. They've actually done it. But the money's sitting there. They're not sending out stimulus checks. They're not giving you money for rent. They're not giving you money for enhanced unemployment benefits. They're not giving you money for food. Now, some states have literally been diamonds in the rough. They've absolutely done an incredible job. Remember that LWA does not pay you benefits if you don't make $100 a week. Well, some of those states have actually stepped up and said, we can't leave our citizens, unpaid under LWA. We don't like that executive order. So one governor who I detailed earlier today, who's a Republican, said, it's not fair to have people left by his side because they didn't make $100 to not get LWA. We're going to use that COVID-19 fund to give them that $300 a week. God bless him. That's what you're supposed to do. Other states, however, have been an absolute catastrophe. They're holding the money. They're not giving you LWA benefits. You're not getting FPUC. You're not getting anything. And they're sitting around and doing nothing with the money. Now, it actually gets worse, as if it's going to get any worse. Two scenarios beyond that are actually worse happening. One, they're using money for purposes that it's not supposed to be used for. One city used it to buy two cameras for $16,000 for the council chambers. Another one used it for $30 million for the police force. They look all nice and dandy. And then there's actually a worse scenario. One state or county has all this money sitting in their coffers, and they know they can't use it for a purpose. They've been told they can't use it for a purpose, and they're hoping to hold it up till January of next year to use it for a purpose it was not designated for. Yeah, really. That's what we're dealing with. I told you this is the worst scandal you'll hear anywhere in the entire United States about this pandemic. And it comes from state and local who Nancy Pelosi has the audacity to flatly lie to you and say they don't have money. Oh, they have money. They're just not using it, or they're not using it for you, or they're not using it for the purposes that they're supposed to use it for. They have money. So, there is two things that is really good news about that very, very scandalous and intertwined story. The first one is that some states are now spending the money on you. Yes, they're spending the money on you because there's a use it or lose it. The money is expiring. It's a program that you have to use the money or you lose the money. It goes back to the federal government. So a lot of these cities and counties are suddenly today, in September, announcing programs for rent or food or stimulus or aid for you for money they've had since April under this first stimulus package while you're thinking about the second stimulus check. This is first stimulus relief that, who cares what it's called? It's money. This is incredibly great news. The other thing of really great news is the potential for the last scenario, which is the president recaptures his money and resends it out in the manner in which it's supposed to be used. Now, there's a point at which the president needs money to fund whatever executive order he needs to do, and it just depends on how many executive orders he wants or wishes to do. And it also depends on the timing to do them. First, I've detailed that the president can't do executive orders. That's the first thing. Second, I said that he can do it by use of money that's non-treasury. This is money non-treasury. Third, 2 weeks ago, he said that he has $300 billion he can access for stimulus checks. Well, there's more than $300 billion we now know. There's $200 billion, which I detailed that same day, which you can use for FPUC. And then there's all this money from the states, which is hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that he can use for relief under executive orders. The question is how soon. It has to start up in the next few weeks by executive order because he's going into the polls. The race is slow. He needs to get the money out before you start voting by mail. And that could win him the race. Most of the viewers of this channel think that's what's going to happen. Let me get to some of your incredible questions from yesterday. There was over 1,500 comments. Boy, it was some day. Linda, we need that money now. I agree. Nancy can stick the pot bill where the sun doesn't shine. This is horrible. It's just crazy. Give her the pot and the bottle and the vodka and show her the door ASAP. I love that. Terry Bruckner, yes, but if they dipped it into the extra money, they wouldn't have a slush fund for later. Tom, I can see the lawsuits now on the states and counties stealing our money. I'm still waiting on my first check. Good job, LA. I absolutely see this. I absolutely see the ACLU. I see watchdog groups. I see private firms. I see a lot of people suing this, suing the states, suing the counties, suing these local governments that were supposed to use this money for you and have now either not used it or used it in improper purposes that I actually know is improper purposes. Wondering aloud, that's the screen name. What a disgrace America has become of its leaders. Absolutely. Alan Waters, that money for the people was made by the people. It's their own damn money. It's being kept from them. Very well said. I mean, we forget. Where's this money from and coming from? It's coming from you. It's coming from tax dollars. It's not coming from the politicians. They didn't put the money there. D. Fish, she's evil Nancy. She's the only one holding up everything. Get out, evil Nancy. She's absolutely evil. I have no problem saying that. It's just, it says D Fish. She's evil Nancy. Gina Matson. The federal government should go away and take the CARES Act fund back now. Use it and give it to the people. I agree. The president should take this money and resend it out right away. Stephanie LG. Pot, lobster, all diversion and childish games. Very well said. Brooklyn, they used to pay us 5% interest on every hour it takes for them to approve a check for us. Seriously. Cody, there's no checks coming in. I'm sick of this. Susan, just like the others we talk, mostly states are out for themselves. Very well said. Pamela, cash money. If we had $10 for every empty stimulus bill, we wouldn't need a stimulus check. Very well said. Mike, has anyone ever been surprised? Cooks with their hands in our pockets. Susan Moos, Nancy needs to step down seriously. Donna, meanwhile they're eating lobster. David, they need to throw a bucket on Nancy Pelosi. We'll be lucky she melts. Okay, yes, all right. Stephanie, is it a Democrat or a state, or is it Dems or Republican-run states that's hoarding our money? Both. It's just both. And it's just all over the place. It's not, there is one state where it's a Republican who's actually helping its citizens and getting the money to the citizens. There's another state where there's a Democrat who's trying to use the money for purposes that's not supposed to be used. It's just everything. It's not a partisan. You can't say it's one or the other. Myra Ray, they need to lay off the pot. Mary Boone, it's most definitely Pelosi's evil heart holding our checks up. Rosa, the funniest thing is that if this was by executive order, what's really going on is a group that's just corrupt and greedy and unworthy. They don't care. Very well said. I mean, what you have going on is an enormous sum of money that was sent out and is not gotten in your hands. But the good news is that no one's going to forget this, and I'm not leaving the story. And you should be sharing the story, tagging all the people, which I'm tweeting you the tags on who to tag. We're not going to let this story go because this is a national scandal. So go to the front of this channel and hit the subscribe button and drop your comments below. 250,000 subscribers today. Wow, what an achievement. First channel since the history of YouTube to reach 250,000 subscribers in 4 months. We're at 152 tonight, so we're doing quite well. Also, like this video. It helps to put the video higher in the algorithm for the likes. Coming up next is a big special. You're gonna like that. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay alive.